Welcome to the Fast Fix channel. My name is Jason, and today I'm changing the oil on my new 2018 F150 with a 2.7 liter EcoBoost engine. Let's get right to work. This truck has enough ground clearance to not require ramps, and I'm lifting it up for better camera angles and ease of movement. Of course, whenever you lift a vehicle, use jack stands and chuck the rear wheels. First put down cardboard like seen here. This job can be messy, as you'll soon see why. Before we get into it, a quick list of tools. Required is a 27mm or 1 1/16 inch socket using about 12 inches worth of extensions. You'll also need an 8mm or 5/16 inch socket for 4 bolts that hold on the undershield. This tool is useful to remove and install the oil filter cap O-rings. The O-rings come with the filter. I'm using a Fram filter designed for use with synthetic oil. I know you all love Fram, so keeping a best practice here. Of course, a funnel and measuring container are pluses as well. Alright, the good stuff. Starting on the driver's side, you'll need to remove 4 8mm bolts attaching the undershield. The 4 bolts are at each corner of the piece. Remove as seen here. This oil plug can be removed by hand by simply turning to the left. You will feel a click over it, and you'll just need to be careful not to pull the plug out the whole way. This will help you avoid an oil spill. Expect an oil rush if you remove the oil plug completely. Don't worry, I will demonstrate what that looks like. But if you have enough patience, you can avoid the oil rush and splattering oil drops. But I didn't in this case. In the future, we'll see. Yep, getting bored here. And here we go. Ooh, that cardboard really came in clutch. And here's the mess I made. Just a heads up. Let's remove the oil filter cap now. Using the 27mm or 1 1/16 inch socket, turn to the left. This cap should be only on hand tight, so it shouldn't give you too much resistance. Spin the cap off completely, as seen here. Sometimes the filter likes to stay with the engine, but no worries there. Just lift up to remove it. This process is virtually mess-free if you're careful, so be careful. Time to change out the O-rings. Using the tool shown earlier, simply hook the O-rings and ease them off. Using a screwdriver would work too, but avoid using sharp objects that could damage the housing of the filter cap. The small O-ring is notoriously tough to remove and install, but just keep at it and it'll happen for you. For reference, it took me about 5 minutes to install the small O-ring. Trial and error, and no real good way to tell you how to go about it. Just use patience and different solutions. I ended up using a small screwdriver in tandem with the other tool, and that seemed to do the trick. Please comment below if you've got a tried and true solution to this difficult O-ring. On a side note, discard the used O-rings so you don't accidentally reinstall them as I'm doing here. Don't worry, I caught my error later and fixed my mistake. Now place the filter in the cap. There is no top or bottom, so orientation doesn't matter. Now is a great time to install the drain plug. Give it a good visual inspection. Some argue this plug should be replaced at each change, but if it's not showing any leaks, I see no reason to replace a perfectly good part. Just my opinion. Simply turn the plug to the right and it'll click into its locked position. It doesn't take much, just about 120 degrees of rotation locks it in place. Take this time to clean up any oil messes as well. Once the drain plug is back in, we can add oil. The 2.7 calls for 6 quarts of 5W30. Because I had 10 quarts of 5W20 laying around, I choose to go with it. There are different opinions on what weight is best, but using the 20 versus the 30 weight isn't going to make or break you. I'll use 30 weight on the next change, but see no use wasting perfectly good 20 weight. I don't compromise on synthetic oil, however. No standard oil will be used in this vehicle. Let's install the oil filter and cap. Just screw it back on as seen here. Once the filter has bottomed out, it only needs 22 foot-pounds of tightening. This is barely anything, so just snug it up as if you're hand tightening a standard oil filter. Do not over-tighten this cap. The O-rings are doing the sealing for you, and it just needs to be hand-tight. Now let's reset the oil life indicator. Turn the key to the on position so your display is active. Using the navigation pad on the left of the steering wheel, arrow down to Settings. Then Advanced Settings, Vehicle, then Wiper Controls. It may look as if we don't have any more options, but click the arrow up and more options will present themselves. Select Oil Life Reset, then press and hold the OK button. This will clear the old oil indicator and reset it to 100%. Of course, start your truck and make sure there are no leaks. At that point, install the undershield. And hey, if this video helped you, please help me by liking and subscribing. I plan to do a 60,000 mile service on this truck, so stay tuned for that. Thanks, and have a great day.